Hey there, this is Angela with Parkrose Permaculture and my two standard poodles, Apollo and Athena. I thought I would talk for a minute about the permaculture concept of catch and store energy. And one of the most obvious ways we can do that while also creating no waste. So if you don't know that much about permaculture, there are 12 principles and 3 ethics. And there is something under that shed. It probably is a rat or an opossum. We have a family of opossums that lives in this side garden, so I wonder if that's them. My poodles would have no idea what to do with an opossum if they caught one, so hopefully they won't. So in permaculture, we talk about these 12 principles, and one of them is catch and store energy. You can do that in the form of solar panels. You can do it in the form of Apollo. You can do it in the form of, having a windmill, a wind turbine, a water turbine. You're catching and storing energy. One of the best ways I have found to catch and store energy and also produce no waste when you live in the city is actually to use wood heat. A few years ago, we put in a Yodel wood stove, and I am going to be doing an update on my Yodel wood stove this winter because I have changed a bunch of things about it. It is a wood stove that is tiny and heats about 900 square feet. Now, our house is 1,400 square feet, but I find that it heats sufficiently that we only had to run the heater 3 days last winter. And I ran it 100% off of wood that I have coppiced from the garden and free wood off Craigslist. So when you live in the city, hang on, Apollo, leave that alone, buddy. When you live in the city, there is a constant oversupply of urban trees that need to be dealt with, right? That often get taken to the dump by arborists and other companies. And so I really just scour Craigslist and the neighborhood free groups. And if I see somebody cutting down a tree, I pull over and I ask them, can I have your wood? Now, I have a chainsaw, I have a maul, I have axes. I love bucking and splitting wood. It is definitely a hobby. If you don't feel comfortable using a chainsaw, making sure that you access wood that has already been bucked so that you only have to split it is great. But here we have cherry and maple. I have chestnut, which is not super hot. I always get some cedar. So living in the Pacific Northwest, we have lots and lots and lots of cedar. It does not have a high BTU, but it is very resinous, and that means it catches great, so I use it for a fire starter. I've talked in a previous video about how I use hazel coppice, so I'm going to come down and show you. This is just the most recent. There's a bunch in the woodshed, but this is all that I just cut down in the last couple of days. And I'm hiding it here under my picnic table, which I also use as a workbench. And that's all just free trimmings, and hazel burns nice and hot. And all of that will go in the wood stove. If you have a wood fire that is, you're using a lower BTU wood like cedar or like cottonwood or something that doesn't burn very hot, and you need to get your wood stove up to a safe high burn temperature, then you want to add stick wood from fruit wood or nut wood that's dense. So I save all of my prunings for my apples and my, let me show you up here, apples and cherry and plums, and I save all of those little twigs and prunings. And when you mix those in with the softer wood, you raise the burn temperature dramatically and get your wood stove up to a safe burn temperature that is not producing creosote. So that's a nice tip. If the only access to wood you have is softwood, save your fruit tree prunings. Worth it. I save little buckets of them, racks of them, every size I save them. So I hope that that is a little bit of inspiration about thinking about catching and storing energy. Thinking about utilizing free resources in the community that otherwise might go to waste and turning them into fuel. So I'm going to take these really wound up poodles for a walk. I'll be back soon with another video, and thanks for watching.